Welcome to Flow. Let's get started. Today we'll begin in a kneeling position. Bring your hands to rest on your thighs with your palms facing down or facing up. Allow your eyes to close and take a few moments to find your breath in this position. Feel your butt bones rooted down onto your feet or maybe onto a block, and feel your spine grow long away from your mat. Start to allow your breath to expand in each direction. Allow every inhale to become a little bit longer, a little more full, and let every exhale be fully complete. We're going to start off with a neck stretch today. Seal your elbows in towards your waist and point your palms so they're pointed down towards the ground. Now think of lengthening through your neck and then tip your right ear over towards your right shoulder while you actively press the left palm and the left forearm down. If you'd like a little manual manipulation, you can bring your right hand to your left neck and maybe give yourself just a little bit of a massage there. You can find a little bit of movement through the head and the neck as well. Just breathe into this length and space that you're creating. And then bring yourself back to neutral. Elbows into the waist, press the palms down actively. And then we take this to the opposite side. Think of finding that length through your neck before you tip your left ear over towards your left shoulder. And then actively press your right palm and your right forearm down. You can find a little bit of movement here if that feels good. You can bring your left hand to your right shoulder and find a little bit of manual manipulation there if that feels good. Maybe find some movement through the jaw. You can work into the front of your neck, into your throat. And then slowly release and bring yourself back to a neutral position. And in this neutral position, just take a few moments to feel a little wobbly through your head. Just let it be nice and light on your neck. Now from here, we transition to an all fours shape. Bring your shoulders right over your wrists. And we move into a few sets of cat and cow. On your inhale, drop your belly, lift your gaze. And on your exhale, press into the ground and scoop through your upper back. And continue to move through this with breath. Spread your fingers wide and actively press into the ground. If there's any other little variations you want to add in, maybe some circular movements through the spine, through the hips, or the elbows, feel free to add that in for yourself. Bring yourself back to a neutral tabletop position and reach your right arm up towards the ceiling. Take a few moments to roll out through your right wrist one direction and the other. And now we're going to move to thread the needle. So bring your right hand underneath your left armpit and bring your right ear down towards the ground. Now, option to stay here, or you can stretch your left hand forward. Also with that left hand, you can wrap it around your torso just to get a little bit deeper into the neck and shoulder opening. And just find breaths here. We're slowly coming out of this. Take your left hand, bring it right next to your nose, press down into your hand and reach your right arm up. Find this opening through the chest again. And then replace your right hand down. We'll take this the opposite way. On your inhale, lift your left arm. And then take a few moments to roll out through your wrist one direction and the other. And then when you're ready, thread your left wrist underneath your right armpit. Bring your left ear towards your mat. And you can reach your right fingertips forward, or maybe you take your right hand around your lower back. Continue to roll your top shoulder open towards the ceiling. Breathe into this twist and opening in the torso. And then slowly bring yourself back. Take your right hand in front of your nose, press down into your hand, reach your left arm up, find your rotation and twist, and come back to all fours. From here, flip your toes, downward facing dog, and start to take a little bit of movement in your downward facing dog if you'd like to pedal through your feet. Can find some movement in the hips and the head, and then find a more neutral position. Energize your heels towards the ground and start to roll yourself forward to your high plank. And now bend your knees over towards the right, send your hips back, slide forward to high plank and move to downward facing dog. We take this again on the opposite side. Inhale, roll forward, high plank. Exhale, bend your knees, knees go left. Inhale, high plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. We take this 2 more times, right and left. Move with your breath at your own pace. So on your inhale, slide to your plank. Exhale, bend your knees, send your hips back, knees to the left. Inhale, high plank, slide forward. Exhale, downward facing dog. Once more with breath. Inhale, high plank. Exhale, knees to the right. Inhale, high plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. One last time. Inhale, high plank. Exhale, knees to the left. Inhale, high plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. And from your downward facing dog, start to walk your feet up towards your fingers. Separate your feet about hips width distance and find a soft little bend through your knees. Maybe shake your head out, yes and no. Release some tension that you might be holding on into your neck. Moving into a twist here, bring your left hand between your feet and reach your right arm up. Now you can bend your left knee a little bit deeper to encourage the twist. And then if you want, you can take your right hand behind your back, or you can keep your right hand open. Try to actively press down through your bottom left hand. And now release your right arm, bring it back down to the ground, and we're just gonna take this the opposite direction. So soften through your knees, bend your right knee a little bit deeper, right hand will come down, left arm will come up. Think of the spine actively lengthening forwards. And then the right arm can come behind your back and maybe kind of snug into the inner thigh of your right leg. You can allow that to roll your top shoulder open a little deeper. And then slowly release, bring your left hand back down to the mat. From here, shift your weight into your left leg, bend your left knee slightly and extend the right leg back behind you. An assisted warrior 3, try to square both of your hips down to the mat. Energize through the bottom of your lifted right foot. Lengthen through the crown of your head. And now step your right foot far back into a lunge and then gently lower your right knee down to the ground. We're coming into this kind of open 90-90 lunge. Sometimes I call it a pirate position. So your front left knee is right over your ankle. Tee your arms out to the side. Bring your left hand or your left forearm down towards your knee. Reach your right arm up overhead. And now send your left knee and your right hip forwards and backwards. So we're finding some extra stretch through both of your inner thighs here into your groin. And then you can also feel some length all along the right side of your body. Bring yourself back up. We reverse this so the right arm will come down and the left arm will come up and over. Right arm can come to your waist, or maybe your right arm comes all the way down to the mat. Now rotate over towards your right leg. Bend your right knee, rotate the shin, and this is a modified pigeon stretch. So your right heel will be right underneath your pelvis. This is a great way to stretch through the front of your left hip flexor. Hands can be on the mat. Maybe you find just a little bit of a back bend or a chest opener here. Slowly come out of this, bring your hands to frame your knee and then flip your back toes. Find a 3-legged dog with your right leg up into the air. And then from here, bend your knee, open your hip, maybe take some movement through the right ankle. And then move back to downward facing dog. And from downward facing dog, walk your feet up towards your fingers. We're gonna take everything on our second side. So shift all of your weight into your right leg and extend your left leg back long behind you. An assisted warrior 3, we can take a moment to square off through the hips. Make sure they're both pointing down. Extend long behind your left knee. Breathe into this space. Nice full big breaths in and out. And then soften a little bit deeper through your bottom right knee. Step your left foot back. Lower your left knee down to the ground. And then swivel your back left shin. And we come into this turned out 90-90 shape. Tee your arms open to the side and now bring your right hand inside of your right foot, or you can bring the right forearm to the right thigh. Either of those options works. Reach your left arm up overhead and now start to shift your hips forwards and backwards. So think of your right knee gliding forward. In this instance, the right knee might go over the right ankle slightly, and that's okay. Take this about 5 times total, and then bring yourself all the way upright. And we're going to reverse this, so the left hand will come down and the right arm will come up and over. Think of taking this between 2 panes of glass, so you're truly sideways. Breathe into the length that you're creating all along the right side of your body. And now swivel over towards your left hand, towards your left knee, rotate your left shin, and come into our modified pigeon pose. So your left heel is right underneath your pelvis. Breathe into this space. Hands can be to the ground, or maybe hands are at prayer. Final breath here. Slowly transition, bring your hands down, flip your back toes. 3-legged dog, extend your left leg up into the air. And then you can bend your knee and open your hip. And now move into your downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, inhale, lift your right leg high. We come into a half pigeon from here. Pull your right knee towards your right wrist, bring your right shin across, and then shimmy your left foot back long behind you. Now you can take a moment in this upright position, and then when you're ready, start to crawl your hands forward into our sleeping pigeon. And if this variation isn't great for you, you can come onto your back and come into a reclined figure 4 by crossing your right ankle over your left knee. I'm going to give another variation in this pigeon. It's a thread the needle variation if you'd like to bring your left arm underneath your right shoulder. You don't have to take this. Maybe you try it out and you don't like it so much in your body. Just something to try. Continue to breathe. Nice big full breaths into the upper back, into the right hip. Allow your breaths to become longer. And now we transition, bring the hands underneath the shoulders, bring yourself upright, shift your weight over towards your right butt bone, and now swing your left leg around. However you need to bring yourself to this half straddle pose. Extend your left leg, reach your arms up, rotate towards your extended left leg, and then release your body up and over. So we can feel a nice stretch through the inner left thigh. Also a nice stretch through the right side of the lower back. Slowly bring yourself up, and from here we move back into a downward facing dog, and we take this all on the other side. On your inhale, lift your left leg high, and now pull your left knee towards your left wrist. Maybe shimmy your right foot a little further back behind you, lift your chest up, and then when you're ready, start to crawl your hands forward and come into your sleeping pigeon. And you probably notice differences from one side to the other. Just something to acknowledge, get to know your body a little bit better. If you'd like to take the variation on your back, you can take that variation. Wherever you ended with your breath on your first side, try to start there, and then maybe you can go even a little bit further. And then I'll give you the option for the thread the needle variation. The right arm can come underneath the left armpit. The left fingers can reach forward. Just a way to add a little bit of a twist into this hip opener. Find calm, steady breaths. And then slowly bring yourself out of this. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders. Shift your weight over towards your left butt bone, and then bring your right leg around into our half straddle. Reach your arms up, rotate towards your extended right leg, and release yourself up and over that leg. Find heaviness in your torso. Maybe you reach your fingertips a little bit closer towards your foot. And now slowly bring yourself up, and however you need to, roll yourself all the way down onto your back. Pull your knees in towards your chest. Give yourself a little squeeze here. And our final posture will be a reclined bound angle pose. Bring the bottoms of your feet together. Let your knees open. Bring one hand to the belly, one hand to the heart. Maybe allow your eyes to close and take this final posture as a way to ground down into your body and a way to lengthen your breath. Thank you for joining us today, and And that's your flow.